Yeah.
It's the John car?
Yeah. Somebody's on with it.
Yeah. And do you know, I went to college with his daughter.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she was a very sweet girl, but very awkward, very shy. I wouldn't cry about her. But whoever it was, they were giving Osborne orders.
Really?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that.
Yeah.
20 minutes. Yes, yes. Yeah, it would have been much better on video, but I was taking stills, but it was, yes, nodding. 20 minutes, then Osborne spoke for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then that was the end of the
He was
conversation.
definitely the dominant.
He was the boss,
Yeah.
yeah. You would think it'd be the other way round, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No. But we haven't managed to actually just look at them.
The guy who gave us the bathrobe footage said that he saw one of the individuals that we filmed getting into the back of the car yesterday, suggesting he wasn't the driver and that he may have been a member.
That's great. Yeah.
But we still don't know who it is.
Are you recording? Are you on a
Live
stream?
stream, yeah.
You know, it was the police that alerted them to film the bathroom footage.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you should put it in the thing.
Well, they were all laughing, so...
No, but they said you should film this, the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You should put it in the thing to show the two guys.
That's not somebody. John's got a picture of the guy that's laughing at there. So he's a driver. What's all this stuff?
I don't know if anyone's going to turn up today for the final day of the protest. I guess not. They'll all be gone by the time they get here.
This morning they got, let's see, who was it? Alex Carp doing his Tai Chi warm-ups in the back.
Really?
Could be some humorous footage. The police alerted us to it happening with their laughter, so.
Yeah.
Quite refreshing. Got some good footage on the snipers. No, I'm just assuming there's one guy there with a telescope in front of him.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture one of the activists had of the sniper mask that was a skeleton?
No. Need to get that.
It's brilliant.
Where's that?
I think Charlotte might know, but it was absolutely scary. It's just chilling. Yeah. It's just this monster skeleton.
They like to revel in that.
Yeah, they do.
They love to make themselves look worse.
Lowering the vibration.
What's that?
getting dark and kind of, you know, scary. I hope we've all got sunscreen today.
No.
I've got my organic over there. I'm gonna. Did you see Charlie's piece about Ukraine?
Yeah, I read that. It's a good piece. One of his most serious ones, I think, that I've read.
Yeah. It is serious. It is serious. I mean, he's still got the jokes in. He has to. That's what they are. But, you know, it keeps people reading. I remember your first piece about him.
Was it very
I tried to
complimentary?
find it the other day. I thought it might be in an archive.
The Dutch party leader said an interesting thing to us when we talked to him on the street. Said that he'd given a presentation about renewable energy and it wasn't on the official agenda. Got that in the article. Obviously underscoring the fact that they don't tell us everything that they talk about, even in fake.
Yeah. Well, did you, oh god, I must get the, name of Lou. What we spoke to. I would know it if I saw it on the list. Did I tell you this? I said, have you enjoyed yourself? And he goes, well, enjoyable isn't the word. He said, it's very instructive. And I said, intense. And he said, yeah, intense. He goes, then he just went, meetings.
Yeah.
All the time. Meetings this evening, meetings tomorrow morning. He looked exhausted. He really did. I don't think he was a regular. But I think that's actually the most, like, a really telling quote. Because now, whenever they do the goals for the socialising, we've got the quote, it's meetings all the time.
Exactly.
Andreas and somebody I didn't recognize. Got his picture. Yeah, should be good.
So, that guy in the bathrobe was
He was probably the driver.
Josh
Josh got a picture of him and says
Yeah.
driver, yeah.
So there was one driver, one security, and then one possible delegate.
The guy with the glasses, the shades on.
The one with the red was security.
Yeah.
The weird one was the driver.
Yeah.
Now we need to hunt down the delegate.
I mean, he might have mistaken him, but he said he got in the back of the car.
If
Same
you
guy
didn't
again.
have a zoom lens, it's hard to. They do look the same.
Yeah.
They look all
Old
look similar.
grey men.
Yeah.
So what's the outcome of your meeting? All of them? I haven't heard yet. We'll get some information later right now. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know. Okay, throwing it completely. So. What do you think about Denmark? Yeah, I'm seeing I'm doing besides this. This I don't like. Yeah. I don't like going behind bars. And what about the people here? The people here.
It's very expensive though.
Yeah. But I just realized that the people here, they're really socialist. I'm from Germany, but this is even too much for me here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even
I haven't talked to them. I want to get on the street and ask them about some things. So yeah.
because I was talking to some woman yesterday over here. She was really nice in the beginning and so on, and then I started getting into socialism, and it's not really good. And she said, "Come on, you're kidding, right?" And then that's when the whole conversation ended immediately there. Before that, she kind of was all interested in everything here we were doing and so on, and then she said, "No, that's not what it is, you know."
Saying that Scandinavia was the beta test for getting people to love the state.
Oh,
Was it you that was saying it?
Lots of people.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Just if you walk into a convenience store, like all of them, they just use the cards. They don't pay for cash any longer here.
Sweden's most people want to go
Yeah.
cashless, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was the date of that?
I'm not sure, but they've got the thumb scanning payment thing as well, Sweden.
And
Does it make you feel sick to have to pay for something with your thumb?
People would think because
I just would
Yeah.
feel sick.
and they don't
A
even
retinal
realize
scan.
it. Most of the people here, they don't realize it, how socialist their country has become.
Well, they didn't realize how socialism is geared up for global governance, and to basically consolidate power, and that's what these guys are about. That's why they run the socialist side. They're not just capitalists and fascists. They run the socialist side too. It's just like they run the Democrats and the Republicans. You know, they get both sides to make sure.
That delegate said he came out and he was telling the people, if you don't like it, you just need to vote differently. I mean, imagine telling us that. You just need to vote. You need to engage with the system.
said you had to vote out what they'd already imposed on us. So we didn't have a choice in the imposition of it. We just
No.
may have a vote to get rid of it again, or maybe not.
Well, maybe you
Yeah. It's always a false dichotomy. And if they're not on with the agenda, I mean, just look at the presidential debate, 2008, how Ron Paul was kept out. They didn't do that in 2012 with him, but then you had a two-term governor, Gary Johnson, who had gotten elected in a majority Democrat state as a Republican and got reelected with a greater majority. So you would think that they would give this guy a seat at the debates, but they said, oh no, they played this game. Said you have to be a certain number in our polls, except in their polls they didn't even put his name on the polls, right? So I mean, they play those kind of games, and of course they're not going to let a third party in. They're not. What's that?
They played every kind of game.
Oh yeah,
against
and then in 2012, when Ron Paul clearly was the front runner from all of the independent polls, they just went out and rigged the election. I mean, you look at Santorum, nobody. He was not even a blip on the polls, and it's like the night before the election, he goes into a sports bar with his entourage of press, and all these people started yelling at him to shut up and go away. They wanted to see the game. The next day, he's like, all of a sudden, tied with Romney at the top, to take away the fact that there's stuff in the ballot for Romney. They exchanged leads. Said, oh no, I won. No, you won. No, after you. That type of thing. It was phony, but they kept doing that over and over again. And where it really became transparent was in the caucuses. Because in the caucuses, people show up that are politically active, and they knew how people were voting. And they knew that the stuff was getting rigged. And I think it was Maine. Anyway, they had some Republican precincts where they were calling it in and then checking it, and they had switched the votes after they called it in. So they were playing all kinds of games with the caucuses because they already know how to rig the ballot elections. Those are easily rigged. It's the caucuses that they had trouble with, and that was where he was getting all of his victories because they didn't have a process to rig it. They've been working on it. They're not going to have that problem with the next election. They're going to shut down the caucus stuff as well if they can.
They do so much in the name of democracy.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And what kind of pathetic democracy is. When's this person going to come out? I think there's patio action. Well, because I think after the thing, they'll all... You do. I know. I think we might have to go to the patio. That's just too much choice this year. Where do we look at the delegates?
Spoiled for choice.
Never again, I doubt it. Certainly never again for the patio. They won't do that.
Who knows, they may find not one but two politicians willing to come out and
Hey.
be a PR guy.
12. Okay. A couple of we're leaving now?
This area about 2 o'clock, and the police will clean up the place for us. Yes, that's nice.
Then they will send you the bill.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
Well, the
you live here,
taxpayer
though,
are going to pay anyway.
Yeah,
The
yes.
local people.
I
will
think
pay.
they're tired of doing nothing. The police.
They're a bit bored, aren't they? They've
Yeah.
calmed down a lot. They're quite.
Saying, oh yeah, a bicycle to work, right? And he was telling me how the city is planning on getting rid of all the cars inside the city. That's why parking is so expensive. And that's why they also privatizing it.
Yes.
And he didn't even think that it was wrong or anything. You know, they all just go along and they think it's fine. You know, or yesterday I was talking to another policeman over there, and I told him about the Bilderberg conference and that they actually elect our presidents and everything. And he said, "Oh, I don't believe this. You know, they're just naive. I mean, you know, this is."
Well, I talked to one who was absolutely fine with it. I hope they plan my future well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, talk about the mentality of a slave.
Yeah.
And that's just it. You know, as long as they throw them some goodies, they're fine with it. But you were just saying that the policeman was saying to you that they're going to get rid of all cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he goes to work by bicycle. And he's not even complaining.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
So there's no need of convincing people here. I mean, I kind of feel like it's too late for the Danish people. I feel kind of sad for them, but you cannot reach them any longer.
What about self-driving cars, as they call them? I like to call them government-driven cars.
Oh yeah, Google is on that too now.
That's right. Yeah. So, how do you feel about that? Do you see any movements about that in Germany?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but...
Well, you know, Mercedes has already developed the technology.
Yeah.
And they just got the EU to graciously give them permission to relax the rules for letting go of the wheel.
Yeah.
So they can test it even farther. And they're doing the same thing in the United States. And they hope to take over control of our cars so that we don't have control of our transport. That's the whole thing. It's all about control, isn't it?
Of course.
You know? So they've always wanted to get us in America into public transportation, but America's too spread out.
Yeah, I know.
So the only way they've got to control us in public transportation is with these driverless cars.
Yeah.
Except they'll be the ones who will be driving.
Yeah,
They'll be able
exactly.
to stop you at any point.
I know.
Turn off your car, apprehend you, whatever they want. You know, I mean, it's and then tax you every foot you drive. You know, I mean, that's what people don't understand. It's not going to be taxed by the mile; it's going to be taxed by the foot. I mean,
and the government will even know where you are going because you have
Yes.
to tell the car the address where you want to go, right?
Yeah. That's true. Well, they already have that with our cell phone. That's what I really hate to see go because I love
I
to drive.
personally believe that America is the last chance that we have in this world. If America falls, then it's game over. There's nobody who's fighting for liberty any longer.
Well, that's where the battle is right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
Because
know.
that's where we really are kind of the point and the focus of what they're doing. They're training all of their guns on us, all their techniques, trying to destroy the economy, trying to, you know, the surveillance state, the police state, everything is ramping up in America. So it really is where the battle is.
And in Europe, nobody's armed. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Russia has a comeback now. Because they have their own values, right? And they don't want to be part of this European culture, which is being pushed up onto us by the New World Order. So they have their points.
Yeah.
But I can also see...
And they're their own independent, separate mafia. They don't want to be swallowed up by the other mafia family that's bigger.
And also in Europe you have the conservatives right now looking to Putin, which is also not a good thing, you know, because they think he's a strong man and he has the same values as them and he's going to come and rescue them, right? But that's not going to happen because the Russians, they have their own plans, right?
That's right.
They're talking about Eurasia, you know, the Union of Europe and Russia and so on. So if they have actually a chance, you know, and see Europe is quite weak, they will come and take us over.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And that's all part of the communist deception, or the perestroika deception.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure some of the Ukrainian people just want to be free. They just want to be independent, just like we do. But just as we see in America, you've got these same groups that wind up taking over every movement. You know, whether it's the Tea Party or Occupy or the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, they're all taken over by these guys. And then in America, we have this permanent professional bureaucracy that never changes. Which is all on board with this.
Morning.
Hey, how you doing? Did you hear the news about Sweden and what was it, Finland, I think, not being able to defend themselves, you know, in case Russia wants to invade them?
Is it Sweden and Finland?
I think so, because they're not part of NATO. I think that's also what they probably might be discussing, to get them into NATO, because I read a report on the net somewhere, but I don't remember the editor. But it said, or maybe it's just propaganda, right, to get them into NATO, but on the other hand, they were fearing, like, if Russia decided to join or to invade Finland, for example, because their defenses are so low, then even the West could not protect them, and they could not risk a war with Russia, so it would be the same kind of situation as Ukraine, right, where the Russians just take parts of it, and the West has to just look on and say...
Before they started engineering this unrest in the Ukraine, the Finns, Swedes would not have cared, right?
Yeah.
So Russia going to